addiction, and our never-ending search for love. Hello everyone, this is what I want to approach in my talk today. Today I am at home. I'm sitting in my living room and I choose this setting deliberately because it's a bit more difficult actually for me to share sensible stuff. When I'm outside, it's easier. There's space, there's nature, and it's not so close to me as if I'm sitting at home. But I want it this way. It takes even more courage to share personal, sensitive things when we sit in the space where maybe some of these things happened, where we are most of our day. Addiction is not reduced only to substance abuse and are not only reduced to habits like gambling or whatever we can do to distract and numb ourselves or to get a sense of life, of vividness, or of rewarding ourselves, substituting anything that's missing in our lives. In my experience, in my very personal experience, addiction is whenever we try to substitute love in our lives, whenever we try to fix something, to fill a hole with things that will never fix and fill it. So it's always destructive, no matter if it's a serious habit, no matter if we consume harmful substances, do dangerous things, unhealthy things, or seemingly not so bad things like eating too much sweets. It comes down to the same thing. Whoever may have heard my last talk, I'm going to continue somehow a bit in what I've told and shared with you. I have shared about my childhood last time, what I experienced. And today I want to say things about my adulthood. And it's actually even a bit more hard because in our childhood we are not able to change the things that happen. We have to rely on other people. We are dependent. That's a given. We have not many possibilities to move out of the situations and choose something else. But when we grow adult, we are responsible for that, what we do and experience and pull into our lives. The problem is that we very often are not aware of what is happening to us because our subconscious is working, because we have patterns running, because we have these addictions and maybe are not even aware that they are addictions. I want to move away from the general plane again now and share. And like the last time, I'm not going to dig deeply into the issues and not tell details because that's not helpful, not for me, not for you. I do all this again because I want to be open. I want to come closer to the world by opening up, by coming out with the things I've experienced that shaped me, and most of all, to encourage you, because no matter what you have experienced, gone through, and took the wrong turns in your life, maybe for a long time, chose wrong things, harmful things, you can always turn to the other direction. Nothing is lost. And most of all, it doesn't mean you will not find back to yourself. You will not find back to love and the real sense in your life and get happy. I want to share my story to encourage you to stick to yourself no matter what. After I left school, I had some great years. I went traveling to the world. I went for 6 months to New Zealand and experienced some really great things. People, nature, myself, gathering strength and hope and lots of life force for myself, which was necessary indeed for that what followed. I made a job, training, and finished and got my first occupation, earned my first money, or just you will know these things. You will probably gone through all this as everybody does usually. And I never would have experienced to expected to marry that early, but it happened. I married when I was 23, and I got my first child with 24. This is not a problem. Nothing of this what I told so far, but I was too fast with myself. I didn't expect issues to pop up by marriage, by having a child in my body, growing, by birthing it, and by having to be responsible for a child. Of course, this brought up my own issues from my childhood, which were not at all worked out, not at all healthy. And I had chosen a husband who was deeply hurt himself by his own childhood. Two broken people had come together and had a child. And you can imagine this was not a simple thing to manage, not at all. The problems were there. Naturally, we tried our best, but then I had the second child, which he didn't really want to have, but I somehow insisted on it emotionally. I thought it would everything get fine after we have two children, a good family, everything healthy then, but of course that's not the way it works. Children are not there to make us healthy and whole again. The end of the story is we had to split, and in the years until that happened, at least we tried for 9 years together. In the years until this happened, there were issues. I'm talking of myself, like drugs, alcohol, depression, self-hurting habits, and living in a dream world somehow, or working too much to get away from family issues. I somehow was on the spiritual path anyway. I was very interested in meditation, yoga, and self-realization path, and tried to follow that. But of course, it's not really good to do things like drugs and alcohol. At the same time, cannot work. So it didn't help that we had to split in the end. He had his own issues and problems and addictions running. We were not able to help each other and support us in a way to work them out together or each of us. So in the end, there was me and the two children moving out, living somewhere else, and my husband was staying alone. And well, these are things that a lot of people experience. After the separation, I got a chance to really look after myself like it should be. I think that's why it's happening. I started to look at myself in a different way, but I didn't stick to it. Only 1 year after the separation, I had another partner, which is really stupid to do. But I felt lonely. I felt stressed out with my two children. I was looking for help, for support. I didn't want to stay with my pain alone. And you can imagine that this was not a good start, not a good reason. And yes, it didn't function either. My second partner also was somebody with severe issues from his past and childhood. Again, two broken people coming together once more. I see it a bit humorous meanwhile, so I can say it this way. I'm looking at my younger self now. I see the reasons why I chose certain things, why I took this or that turn in my life, why I attracted these partners. But still, I had to take responsibility if I wanted or not, and there were the effects and results of my decisions, of my actions. I got pregnant immediately and expected my third child. We had big troubles, my new partner and me. He was not prepared for this, not at all. He was not even sure if he wanted a solid relationship with me. And I not either, but we decided to stick together because of the child. And again, this is not really a good reason to stay together, to come together. The problems were pre-programmed, of course. We were living in the same space, in the same flat or house. He always had his own living space, and I was not only living alone with two, but with three children now. Wow. Excuse me, I have to take it with my humor now. It's somehow like a joke, but a bad one. Well, as I said, I had to earn what I was sowing. I had to take responsibility for my actions and my decisions. We stayed together for 7 years, more or less. And on the way to our separation, again, really severe issues were there. I'm talking of myself. Drugs, again, different ones this time. Living in my own world, in my dream world, not being able to really be a good mother for my three children because I was still broken, far away from self-love, far away from responsibility for my own life. I tried my best, always, that's for sure. I was never a mean person. I was never aggressive or beating my children or things like that, but I was not present enough. How could I? I had not made anything better up to then. I had grown older. I had learned to deal with things in life on some planes, but not on the most crucial ones. I had made the same mistake again, took the same turn again, attracted the same kind of partner again, and had three children which I was not able to be a good mother for. And that's really sad. And again, I was trying to follow a spiritual path, a different one this time, boosting it with the use of drugs, which of course made things worse than better. Having a partner with own issues and problems that were not healed at all, having no prospect to really work it out together, be a healthy family, stick together, be good guides for the children. And after I chose to stop this relationship, this time I understood it is now time to find myself. After all, try to get away from all these destructive habits, choices, people, addictions, and try to find what really brings back the love into my heart, into my body, into my life. And that's why I share all this. I hope not many people of you have gone through such a hard time in your lives, have not made the same mistakes again and again, took the same bad turn, attracted the same toxic people again and again. But sometimes we have to be reminded of our issues this way, as long as it takes to realize it, as long as it takes to really take the other turn, which is really towards ourselves, to love, to God, and the true meaning of our lives. In the end, I want to share that after that last separation of my last partner, which is now already 9 years ago, of course, I was not suddenly healthy and clean and a good mother and a great human and whatever I was looking for. Not at all. Instead, I developed some really severe mental and psychological problems, or maybe I got aware of them. I probably had them before. And I had an odyssey through therapies and doctors and healers of any kind. I took some wrong turns again. I didn't have the feeling I could deal with it until now. And I want not to hide it. I had to take medicine against my psychological problems to be able to live at all for 10 years. Psychological medication, more or less depending on my state. And I was able to leave them away only in the spring after 10 years. Again, I'm not telling you all this to get your applause or your empathy. Instead, I want to encourage you that these things can happen. And I'm not saying it was a bad thing I had to take these medications. I cannot see I would have dealt with that in another way. I could not have approached my issues without this help. And I want to assure you it's not a hindrance to spiritual evolving. It's not a hindrance to find back to yourself. You're not unable to proceed your path anyway. It's not true. If anybody of you is in the situation and has to take any medication for whatever issue, psychological or physical, don't worry. It's okay. I mean, we have a time where these things exist. And I must say I'm very grateful I have had this help. But never give up to believe, because it is true that at some point you can throw it away and walk alone. And it can take some time, like in my case, 10 years, even a bit more. Be patient. Never give up. Never give up. Give up to try. If you can walk alone already, try it out. And if not, take them back the help you need. Yeah, in the end counts that you believe in your own value. It cannot be given to you from outside, even if you have great people, friends, relatives, a partner who supports you, who gives you encouraging words and values you. It won't do anything to you if you don't believe that it's true, if you don't give it to yourself, if you don't see it and say it to yourself and really realize you're a wonderful being, no matter where you come from, how you have been raised, what you experienced in your childhood and youth, what you made out of your life in your adulthood. which wrong turns you took maybe several times, which mistakes you made, which aid and help you were needy of maybe the most time of your life. It is not the end. You can always wake up out of all of this. You can always find back to yourself. And now I'm very happy I've shared all this. It will take another step of courage to publish it, but I will do it sooner or later. I recorded this today because I felt it is good for me, and it is. It will work a long time afterwards, as it always does. And I thank you deeply for witnessing my story. It is not meant to draw your attention on me. I do it for myself, and I do it for you, for anybody struggling with life and issues and hard stuff. I embrace all of you. I give you all my hope, all my love, all my courage I gathered through my very life and on my personal path. And I hope you will never give up yourself, never give up love, faith, and courage, no matter what. Have a very, very great day. Have a good life. And bye-bye.